All right, guys. Well, here we are, and I'm on a trip right now. I'm with Karina and Nico. They're both sleeping though. It's been a pretty insane amount of travel, butt fuck, pack, travel, butt fuck. There's been no butt fucking on this trip, but we are going to. I'm producing this movie with Seth Ferrante, who I gotta do an interview with him. I gotta get him on, but he's pretty interesting. He's the guy that did White Boy, and we got another movie that we did together called Nightlife that's already done, but he's got another one. Seth is probably like the most ambitious person I've ever met. The guy did 21 years in federal prison for selling acid and weed, which is ludicrous. I mean, he for sure did not deserve 21 years in prison when people like Bill Cosby rape like 30 women and get released. There should be more Bill Cosbys in prison and less Seth Ferrantes. Deep. But Seth, I think he's published like 13 books. I don't know, I've narrated a couple of the audiobooks. I need to finish those projects. I have to do a lot of stuff. My goddamn drug addiction keeps getting in the way, but he's doing this movie right now called The History of LSD. And it you know, I mean, one thing about being an addict, and I know a lot of you that watch me and listen to my stories or read my book are probably addicts, or at least have been addicted to some form of primal butt fucking at some point. But I'm sure that you know that when you're an addict, you're obsessed with drugs or obsessed with whatever your addiction is. You know, there's people that are addicted to really weird shit like fucking animals, and I bet they think about different types of animals all day. Being a drug addict, I think about different types of drugs all day. It's just part of the situation. And, you know, I mean, I guess if you're subscribed to the AA philosophy in life, you pray to have that obsession lift, which it does do. When I had 3 years sober, that obsession did dissipate at a certain point. It's just been really difficult battling drug addiction. And when I say battling, I mean like I'm really struggling to stay sober. It sucks because I want to be clean, and then I'll just slip. And it's hard to be honest about what's going on when there's a captive audience, because people judge you. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be judged for using drugs, because when I'm doing that, I'm making a mistake. So I guess I have no point. I guess I'm just a bitch. I'm a bitch. But one part of my drug obsession has always been LSD and acid culture. I find that interesting, you know? Like, I don't find heroin addiction interesting. It's really boring. Meth addiction is kind of interesting because people are paranoid and there's a lot of weird perverted stuff with that. But acid and just the history of it is absolutely fascinating. You know, I don't know how many people are well versed on the history of LSD, but you know, it was made by accident, I think in Sweden by Hoffman or whatever, on Bicycle Day. They call it Bicycle Day because that was the first known acid trip. This guy that was working at this lab, I forget what he was trying to, they were trying to make some sort of compound for maybe Alzheimer's or something, but they were experimenting with different drugs and mold that was on rye bread, and they synthesized LSD, and he did it by accident. This guy rode a bicycle to work every day, so he left work riding a bicycle tripping, and it's Bicycle Day. I believe it's 4/19, which is my girl's birthday as well. April 19th, Bicycle Day. I think it's the 19th. I could be wrong about that. But that's like National Acid Day. But anyway, it's pretty interesting because they would experiment on spiders And spiders would weave more intricate webs when they were tripping on acid. There's definitely some weird frontal, cortex? The different parts of your brain. You know, if you look into what it does to you, it kind of bridges both parts of your brain together. And that's why you can really get insights from it. And there is therapeutic in medicinal use for the substance, but it was just so demonized in the 60s when Leary and Kesey and those guys were going around acting like acid messiahs and dosing everybody and saying weird shit. And then, of course, it didn't help when Charles Manson and all of his little people took acid in a cult-like fashion and went up and murdered Sharon Tate and all those people. At the end of the 60s, that was in 1969, and LSD was just completely demonized in that decade. And it became, it really was considered one of the most dangerous drugs out there. But it influenced so much culture, so much good music that came out of the 1960s, so much good art, so much good filmmaking. It was really a big part of the counterculture. I don't even think that we have a counterculture anymore in the United States. It's like, it's gotten so weird, and like political agendas tugging fringe cultures in different directions. There's not the kind of unity that there used to be in the 60s, and acid was kind of, you know, not looked at the way it is now. Now it's looked at, I think, as like an oddball thing. Back in the day, it was looked at as a vehicle to expand consciousness. And there's a lot of very interesting history that goes into all that stuff with the Merry Pranksters and the Grateful Dead, and that's what Seth is doing. He's doing like a full-on documentary about the history of LSD, and we get to interview all of the central figures in that movement from back then, and then in the legalization movement today, because there's a lot of people that think psychedelics should be legal. My stance on it is skewed because it's true. It brought me out of 3 years of sobriety by taking acid. And that sucks because I've endured a lot of pain since I've relapsed, and I've put people that care about me through a lot through that relapse. So, you know, I'm not mad at the substance. I'm more mad at myself for making that decision. And it took me out of a good place of sobriety, and it propelled me back into addiction. Now that I'm trying to be sober again, and like not half-assed, like, yeah, well, I'm gonna smoke pot because it's my medication. I'm gonna snort Wellbutrin, whatever else I think that I can do on when, you know, quasi sober. It's just not the way. The only way to be sober is to be 100% sober. You know, anything else, I'm just lying to myself. So what does that mean? Because I love to roll. You know, I used to roll all the time on holidays, and I like that. I think MDMA is a great drug. It's not something I've ever abused. It's something I just do periodically on special occasions. Can I not do that anymore? Can I not trip anymore? Because I love tripping. I don't know the answer to these things. I know that whatever is going on with me right now is not working the way that I want it to. And my mental health gets affected by all different types of drugs. I'm just not the kind of guy that can do anything. I mean, it's just, I don't know moderation. I've never been able to do that because I'm a legitimate drug addict, like a legit one. Like, yeah, I use. I'm real deal, and it's not a good thing. It will kill me prematurely, and it will affect my ability to be a good father. And I don't want to die early, you know? There's points where there's demoralization, and there's definitely like lows that I've hit where I don't want to go on anymore. A lot of that comes from prison, I think. I think spending time in solitary confinement really fucked my head up. I really think that. because I didn't have the kind of suicidal ideation that I have. Like, I get on these obsessive trips about it and want to kill myself. And I know that that's just mental illness. That's not how I really feel. It's just a place that I go if I don't stay on top of my mental health. You know, it's something that you have to be very proactive about. You know, you got to work with professionals that know what to do to get you out of those dark places, because I go to them. You know, as much as you think that everything I do is silly, you know, a lot of times I'm just really suffering. But I do shit for attention because I need it. I'm like, let me get a like. Come on. Karina's probably like hearing some of this and just like, what a J-cat. Weird. So I don't know what the future holds for me with substances. I know what I need to do, and what I need to do is not do anything. And right now, I hate the term one day at a time. I've always hated that because it sounds so institutional. One day at a time sounds horrible, but that the only reason that would ever sound horrible to you is if you hate yourself and you hate your life. So I'm like, wait a second. Well, one day at a time sounds horrible. Maybe I hate my life. So maybe I need to start fixing some things within it. I'm still I'm still interested. I still have curiosity about the LSD culture, and I've been blessed that I have been able to collaborate with people like Seth, who's believed in me from day one. When like nobody else was fucking with me, he was the one that like always saw something and has given me countless opportunities. And I feel like, I don't know if I've paid him back. You know, I don't think I've reciprocated as much as I would like to have. I made him Nico's godfather years ago before he had really done anything for my career or anything. And the reason being is because he just did 21 years in prison. He's you know, at the age where he can't have kids of his own. I know he'd be a great father. And, you know, he's in his 50s. And he has all of the things. He does all of the things that I respect in a man. Pretty sure he's never butt fucked, but I don't know. I've never asked him outright. I should. I'm like, come on, dude, 21 years? No butt fucking? Whack. He's honest, he's solid, he's generous, he's loyal, he's very straightforward, and all of this, you know, my personality is absurd. Like, some of the things that I do publicly are things that I should never even do in front of another human. Stuff I should have done in solitary confinement when I was hanging out with Mandy. I don't want to chill with you anymore. She's like, fine. Probably thinks I'm so weird. I am. So what? But he's always just like been very loving, you know? And there's certain people, like Sinister's another one, where I just know that these guys want the best for me, you know? Like, they don't expect anything back from me. They're just my friends for the sake of being my friends. And the last couple of years, my life has really taken a dramatic turn. For the better, I'd say, in a lot of ways, but for the worse in a lot of ways as well. You know, it's like, it's scary when you want to not use anymore and you can't stop. And like, I am completely powerless over it. It's fucking terrifying. But then at the same time, career-wise, things have really like picked up for me. And so many fake people just popped up out of nowhere. And just everybody wants to be cool to me. Like, come on, dude, let me give you a ride. I'll suck your dick. I'm like, huh? Pretty much don't want my dick sucked by you. What about that? Well, then what about a free ride without getting your dick sucked? I'm like, I don't know. Now it's weird. Now if you pick me up, I'm just going to be thinking about you sucking my dick. What a fucking pointless monologue this was. Basically, I'm on the road, and I brought my family with me, and it's been really hard on them the last couple months. I've been out of control, and I'm just trying to like get centered with them and like make up for how I've been, you know. And I'm sober, and it feels good to be sober, you know. It feels good to just play with my kid all day and not have to worry about feeling guilty about me being high, and help Karina because she's 8 months pregnant. It's been nice to be a normal human being again. And I've been really emotional. I always get like that early sobriety, but I don't know, this time I really bottomed out, and I really want to be better, and I want to do better for me, and I want to do better for my family. I want to do better for you. You know, I lost so many like long-term supporters recently, and I can't be mad at anyone but myself for that, but it's still hurtful. God, you sound like a bitch when you say shit like, oh, that hurt. Who says stuff like that? Fine, it didn't hurt. I don't care. No, it does. It sucks when people have been supporting you for a long time and they're disappointed or they're mad at you. Like, I wish I could make it right with every single person. I think that, you know, I don't know. It's just been hard struggling publicly because I can't paint the complete picture. It's not something I can do. It's like I just want to scream for help sometimes, but I feel like people use it against me because they do. So then I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to like not be honest, and it just creates this horrible cycle. That's not what I want. You know, I want better. I want better for my kids. You know, if anything, they're blameless in the whole situation. I want to do better for them. Good news is the one day at a time bullshit. I am taking it one day at a time, and today I didn't get high. Yesterday I didn't get high. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to make it through the day without doing anything. And it feels pretty good to start getting out of that darkness. You know, that shit just completely governed my life in the worst way possible. I almost lost everything that I had. Like giving hand jobs. Oh, come on, dude. Just say palabra. Say it again. Come on. Say palabra, you tug. Fuck, man. Sucks. Miss Patreon. You know, I don't want it to get to that point. I'm on the road. I'm getting to my destination in like 2 hours. There's sleep. I'll for sure do a video tonight when I get home. Come rain or shine, doesn't fucking matter. I have to protect my business, my career. And I do feel like there was a point where I felt like there was a family and it was a good community. Shit just got really toxic. I let it get that way because I was just spinning out of control publicly again. Oh, how many times are we gonna do this song and dance? I didn't call the FBI this time. Someone called. Doesn't even matter, you know. I am really just trying to separate my personal life from my storytelling life, because I know that's just what you guys want. You don't care about the other shit. So I just want you to know, for those of you still watching, we're like 18 minutes of me just rambling, saying stupid, crazy, fucking weird shit. Probably show up somewhere else on the internet. It keeps happening. I just want you to know that I am not dead, and I'm on the road because we're filming this movie. I'm very grateful and appreciative for each and every one of you that stuck with me even when things got like completely fucking insane. I just want to know, like, genuinely I appreciate it, and I'm trying to do what I can to make everything right, and to make everything, and to be the person that you want me to be, to provide the entertainment that you want me to provide. Dance, fucking clown, dance. Much love to you guys, and if anyone out there is struggling, take it one day at a time. It's working for me. Palabra.